to our guests and those who are part of our audience or watching online. We have 3 meetings tonight. The first is Public Housing Authority. Most of you are not here for that. The second is an abbreviated council meeting. And again, most of you are not here for that either. So our third meeting is our study session, of which we'll start with service recognitions and a number of other announcements. That's what most of you are here for. So with that, I'd like to call to order our Public Housing Authority Commission regular meeting. And clerk, will you please take the roll?
Chairman Hartke.
Here.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Here.
Commissioner Dearman.
Here.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Rowe.
Here.
Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Orlando.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, City Clerk. So Council, we had a chance to review these. Well, I'm sorry. First, are there any scheduled, unscheduled public appearances for our Public Housing Authority?
I have not received any.
All right, thank you, Clerk. Council, on our agenda, we have a number of consent items. Had a chance to brief these as well as call in if we had any questions or comments. A motion would be in order.
Chair,
Commissioner Lopez.
I move the approval of the Public Housing Authority Commission regular meeting for September 20th, items 1 through 4.
We have
I
a motion.
second it.
Second by Commissioner Ellis. Any questions or comments, Council?
Mr. Chair,
Commission? Commissioner
thank you.
Orlando.
Thank you. One of these items, as you know, Commission, is we're actually increasing the stipend for rents because rents have gone up over the last few years, as everyone knows. So we're trying to be competitive with out there for the Section 8 type of housing. So I think that's a good thing that we're able to find additional dollars to be able to be competitive in the market. I know many of the renters appreciate the fact that we're trying to make it equitable as much as possible. So.
Good comment, Commissioner. So we have a motion and a second. Council, please take our vote.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Yes.
Commissioner Dearman.
Yes.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowe.
Yes.
Commissioner Ellis.
Yes.
Commissioner Orlando.
Yes.
Chairman Hartke.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you again, Clerk. That concludes our Public Housing Authority meeting. Our next meeting is our regular City Council meeting. And again, Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Hartke.
Here.
Vice Mayor Stewart.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe.
Here.
Councilmember Ellis.
Here.
Councilmember Orlando.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation will be led by Pastor Victor Hardy of Congregational Church of the Valley and our Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Ellis. Pastor Hardy.
Let us pray. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. There's no sweeter word, no sweeter voice that we hear. We hear your love and we see what you have done for us. There is no other way that we could say thank you except for to praise your name. Dear Father, at this time we give unto you this session, this time, in celebration of your love and of your joy. So only thing that we can say at this time is, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And all in favor said, amen.
Please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, we have 4 items on our consent agenda for our regular city council meeting. Again, a motion is in order.
Mayor.
Ma-
Oh, go ahead.
Councilmember Orlando.
I was waiting for Councilmember Harris, man.
Wait till he makes the motion.
Mayor, with Councilmember Harris' approval, I move that we approve the city council regular meeting Monday, September 20th, 2021, as you indicated, items 1 through 4.
And I second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Comments recusing any on these items? Hearing none. Council, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. Thank you, council. Again, that concludes our regular city council meeting. Next, we have our study session for tonight. And that's what most, if not all of you are here for, or at least everyone who's left. So please take the roll.
Mayor Harkey.
Here.
Vice Mayor Stewart.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe.
Here.
Councilmember Ellis.
Here.
Councilmember Orlando.
Still here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And those here, you might wonder, why do we do that 3 times? Well, these are separate videos that are stored, and many people will be watching these things separately. So next on our agenda item is scheduled public appearances, and I would like to invite Vice Mayor, if you'd please join me up front. First on our scheduled public appearances tonight are service recognitions, and I'd like to hand that over to City Manager Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. For our first service recognition, I'd like to ask Dawn Lang, our Deputy City Manager and Chief Financial Officer, to make her presentation.
All right, thank you, City Manager. Okay, I'd like to ask Robert Steele to come forward and be recognized for 10 years of service with the City of Chandler. Okay, Robert Steele began his career with the city in September 2011 as a senior accountant in the Management Services Accounting Division, and over the years has overseen accounts receivable, cash management, capital assets, and debt management. In February 2021, Robert was promoted to the accounting supervisor and is considered our resident historian, given his tenure among the accounting team. Robert has participated in several projects that have streamlined or improved processes, such as the implementation of the Community Services Facility Class Reservation software. He also helped implement and streamline an automated process for asset capitalization, which allows for timely closeouts of our capital projects. Then capitalization and depreciation, all very interesting things here. Robert is a pleasure to work with, always offering humor when least expected. He is one of the most hilarious accountants we know. Today, Robert's wife, Ashley, and his son, Trevor's with us to celebrate. He also has 2 other children, Marcus and Evelyn, that couldn't be here tonight. But thank you for your 10 years of service, Robert, and we hope you are here for many years to come.
Mayor, members of the council, for our next presentation, I'd like to invite Jeff Larson from our Community Services Department forward to make a presentation.
Oh, I'd like to call up Ben Hernandez. Ben has worked for the city of Chandler since September 18th, 2001. For the last 20 years, he had been involved in park maintenance, including plumbing, electrical, irrigation, and even operating heavy equipment. Ben is the go-to guy. He has the skills and passion to fix, repair, build, and create projects that contribute to the quality of life for Chandler residents. His broad technical knowledge, coupled with his extensive problem-solving skills, has saved the city of Chandler hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ben is an excellent certified welder. Examples including putting together dog waste stations, various sign holders, and different kinds of trolleys used for special event equipment. Ben coordinates parks and special event setups, teardowns, and equipment. He's willing to go out of his way to accommodate everybody. He is a mentor to staff, always reaching out to lend a hand, a helping hand, or taking the time to teach new skills to new staff. He's always been there to help. Ben has been a valuable and dependable member of the department, and we appreciate him for his teamwork, loyalty, and expertise.
Next on our agenda is Employee of the Year Awards. Again, City Manager Wright, please lead us through this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I am honored tonight to present our Employee of the Year honorees, and there are quite a few of them. So I'm going to read their background information, and we'll have them come up to the front as their names are read. Again, so thank you, Mayor, members of the council, for the opportunity tonight to recognize Employees of the Year as they are selected by their supervisors and peers here in Team Chandler. It is an honor to be selected by those who we work with every day for exemplifying the high ideals and standards for serving Chandler. I want to thank the Employee Advisory Committee for their efforts to promote the nomination process and acknowledge excellent employee performance. We'll begin tonight with Regan Tiller from the Chandler Municipal Court. When Regan became the court services supervisor, she immediately pulled the team together and emphasized the importance of serving all parties with professionalism and respect, whether they are defendants, victims, attorneys, or prosecutors, and to be as helpful as possible to make their experiences less frightening and frustrating. Regan leads by example with encouragement and direction to provide exceptional customer service to the people entering our courtrooms. The team has learned to show empathy to those who are struggling, and through Regan's direction, they have developed ways to work with people to maintain their lives in the community without fear of repercussions from the court. She works closely with the judges to come up with practices that are within the boundaries of the law and create solutions for individuals who are struggling financially, emotionally, or otherwise.
Before you read the next one, I do want to take a moment of mayoral privilege here. So when Chief Magistrate Skupin first came in and we were talking about her goals and things that she wanted to achieve, she was talking about the kind of hastening and speeding through the process of if people got a ticket. And I asked, is there any way that we could put a QR code on the ticket that would lead people straight there, and it would allow them to address this issue and go through seamlessly, painlessly? And she looked at me and I looked at her, and we kind of shrugged our shoulders. And then independently, Regan came up with that idea and figured out how to do that. So kudos for not just having a great idea, but for knowing how to implement it. So go Team Chandler.
Mayor, our next recipient is Alba Trujillo from the Community Services Department and the Library Division. Alba creates a space of positivity, creativity, exploration, and promotion at the library when helping customers and coworkers. The library has patrons from all walks and stages of life, and she manages to get everyone exactly what they need. She also oversees many displays and activities at the downtown library. When she needs materials, references, ideas, or extra hands, she sends a clear and concise call out to coworkers utilizing teamwork, creativity, and ingenuity to make amazing and beautiful displays. She always brings fun into the library, and who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Our next honoree is Elizabeth Olson from the Cultural Development Department. Lizzie has taken on new roles at the Chandler Museum as store manager and rental coordinator to better serve the community. She established relationships with store vendors and those interested in renting spaces, and she is professional and timely in her communication. She exemplifies teamwork by reaching out to other areas of the city to learn their policies and processes as we set up these new programs. She quickly establishes relationships and makes connections with people. She often recognizes guests who have previously visited the museum and will even remember something she learned about them from their previous visit. Her ability to put the needs of visitors first makes a positive impact on the experience guests have at the museum. She also reports her observations and feedback to museum staff so we can improve the visitor experience and better serve our community. Our next recognition is Jesse Fellers from Development Services. Jesse has exemplified our Team Chandler values by volunteering to handle as-built records management in the GIS area. He coordinates with stakeholders to oversee as-built records review, approval, filing, and retrieval. He also handles public records requests for as-builts and helps walk-in customers. As-built records management is an indispensable task, essential for utility blue staking in Chandler and critical for the design and construction of private development and capital improvement projects. Thanks to his commitment and personal responsibility, as-built records management has run smoothly without backlogs. Jesse also created a presentation for GIS Day for as-builts, tips and tricks. He took time to explore and learn about the as-built viewer functionality, prepare a detailed and engaging presentation that provided tips and tricks for the efficient retrieval of as-builts on a routine basis. This training session is now available for employees citywide. Our next honoree is Avery Armstrong from the fire department. Not sure if tonight, but I will read a brief about him. So Fire Captain Armstrong strives to be the best he can be for the community, challenging himself, learning and growing daily. Avery is a newer captain and looked to by his peers for his involvement and leadership, always ready to serve. He cares about the residents he serves daily, and he cares about his fellow firefighters. He can be counted on to do the right thing in any situation and will deliver the best for his customers and patients no matter the situation. He also looks to grow and inspire his crew so they too can have the tools to deliver the best service to our customers. Our next honoree is Kristen Mayer from Human Resources. Kristen has worked tirelessly on getting COVID-19 protocols set up for employees, handling all of the positive and negative test results, helping coordinate vaccines, and tracking everything. On top of all the extra work and hours that have been involved during COVID, she tackles whatever comes up in a professional manner in addition to her regular job duties. Kristen is an inspiration to her department and delivers outstanding customer service, which enhances everyone's quality of life. She leads by example and works diligently with departments to fill vacancies with the best possible candidates. She is forward-thinking and works with human resources staff to streamline processes and workflows that benefit the city. Our next recognition is Andy Sandoval from IT. Open to innovation and creative ideas, Andy exemplifies the true spirit of our core values and will explore opportunities from any angle or source. These values are intensified by his integrity and commitment to getting the job done. He adds value to every engagement and always has time to have that hallway conversation about what's important. Andy takes personal responsibility to engage all resources that are committed to the city's goals. He leads by example and has created a unique community of staff and associated vendors that are equally committed to the success of our city and our IT team. Our next recognition is Jerry Hodge from Management Services, who is not able to attend tonight, but I will read a brief about him. Jerry consistently takes the initiative to go above and beyond on just about everything that is asked of him. His willingness to assist others and his commitment to his job is unequaled. City staff from all departments rely on his quick, responsive nature and his follow-through. If departments need something special, he will literally drop what he's doing to help them. He played a critical role during the pandemic to deliver large quantities of personal protective equipment kits to the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, which were then made available to Chandler businesses. He also delivered large quantities of car seats to support the fire department's safety seat program. He's been a dedicated employee for more than 30 years, quietly going about his job each day, and we hear that he has no plans to stop anytime soon. Our next honoree is Lauren Cole from Neighborhood Resources. Lauren has taken on every odd job thrown her way, from facilitating diversity training to filling in at the City Hall front desk to serving on many citywide projects, all while providing quality customer service to our residents and employees. She takes each project as a serious commitment to the city and an opportunity to help others. Because she works with so many departments, Lauren's knowledge of the city resources goes far beyond her job scope. She serves as the Irish Sister Cities liaison and helps to coordinate opportunities for Chandler youth to experience other cultures. Her work on the 2020 Census Committee ensured that Chandler schools, neighborhoods, and families have access to important funding and resources. The energy and positivity that Lauren brings to work every day is infectious and encourages others to serve Chandler. Our next recognition is Melissa Deanda from the Police Department. Lieutenant Deanda provides a great work environment for everyone who works in the Police Department hiring unit, which helps the Police Department hire quality employees to serve the community. She supported her team in making the hiring process more efficient and encouraged her employees to be creative and innovative. When new technology and processes were presented, she actively listened and supported her team in implementing those changes. Melissa is a professional who holds herself to high expectations, as demonstrated through her commitment to the residents of Chandler and city employees. She mentors her employees to achieve their fullest potential and makes herself available to provide employees with resources and support whenever they need help. And our final recognition of the evening is Lydia Ortiz from Public Works and Utilities. Lydia possesses a wealth of knowledge regarding city processes, and she shares her expertise with others to both teach as well as achieve goals. She creates good relationships with her coworkers and always conducts herself with integrity. She is responsive, follows through, works hard, and goes the extra mile. Lydia creates a positive environment. She greets everyone with a smile and has a calming demeanor. She's a problem solver and has a knack for quietly eliminating roadblocks with tact. Mayor and Council, in closing, the employees recognized tonight represent a diverse cross-section of Team Chandler with many years of experience serving our community. This past year, as we all know, has been especially challenging, and I want to thank our employees for their ability to adapt and overcome the many obstacles we have faced. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Behalf of council, we want to thank you all for really leading the creed of being Team Chandler, and customer satisfaction innovation, and making our city better for everyone. So next, we have a proclamation, Thank a Water Hero Day. And we have Derek Panila, the water plant operator, and Danny Sargent. My only disappointment in these two gentlemen is they're not wearing water hero outfits or capes, but Vice Mayor is going to read a proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. So Chandler, Arizona proclamation, whereas water is the foundation of public health, economic vitality, and quality of life. And whereas providing accessible, affordable, and clean water is essential for the Chandler community. And whereas Chandler supplies an average of 56 million gallons of high quality drinking water every day to our residential businesses and industrial customers. And whereas Chandler water employees can be relied upon to provide safe and reliable services to our community throughout any circumstance, and the services they have provided have been essential in fighting the pandemic, allowing Chandler hospitals to care for patients and businesses to operate. And the City of Chandler thanks and appreciates each water employee for their commitment to our community. Now, Mayor Hartke and the City of Chandler, Arizona, hereby recognize September 23rd, 2021 as Thank a Water Hero Day.
Quick, brief little comments. So yeah, I just wanted to thank the City of Chandler and AMWA for this recognition. We have operators that are working tirelessly around the clock to provide the city, you guys, with safe and reliable drinking water. So thank you.
Next, we have a second proclamation, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So if Chief Duggan, Katie Kane, and any of our domestic violence commissioners would like to come up, please do. So good to see you. Katie. Hello. Hello. Whereas domestic violence affects individuals and communities nationwide, to include the Chandler community, and whereas domestic violence costs the United States $3.6 trillion annually, considering medical expenses, lost productivity, legal costs, property loss, and damage. And whereas in Arizona, every 5 minutes, a law enforcement officer responds to a domestic violence call. Every 44 minutes, one or more children witness domestic violence. And whereas research shows that having a supportive community reduces the incidence of domestic violence, therefore the City of Chandler strives to create a safe community for all, to live free from abuse. And whereas the City of Chandler Domestic Violence Commission, Chandler Family Advocacy Center, and Chandler Law Enforcement, prosecutors, and community domestic violence programs are committed to preventing domestic violence by endorsing prevention awareness campaigns and educating the community. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Hartke, Mayor of the City of Chandler, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2021 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Mayor, thank you. Vice Mayor, Council, and Chief Duggan for your ongoing support in the DV's Commission's efforts to bring awareness of domestic violence and also prevent domestic violence in Chandler. We'd like to invite you to the annual event that the DV Commission hosts every year. This year, it will be a virtual event on September 29th. It's open to the public about raising awareness about domestic violence, and you can find the invitation on Eventbrite. We hope you can join us. Thank you.
And after we take a picture, I know that Councilmember Ellis serves on our Domestic Violence Council with Meg, and she'll like to make a comment or two.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank everyone that is working as commissioners and on the commission for their service and for really truly looking into this matter. As a city, we pride ourselves in making sure that everyone is recognized and everybody who has an issue is being taken care of. I would like to also thank our police department for truly working hard, that whenever there is a call, that they're always there and they send people that are truly trained to help people who are going through domestic violence. At this time, serving on the board is a privilege, and I really take it as such. And I am very thankful that I'm there because we are working on not only helping with laws, but also with bills that will help those who are in shelters and also those who are, once they are as with the perpetrator, once it happened, that they do not go back to the same place again without having help with that. Thank you, Mayor, again for allowing me to serve on that board, and I will do my best to continue working for the people of Chandler. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Our next scheduled public appearance is Save Station donation by Parent Heart Watch. So if Martha Lopez Anderson, Executive Director of Parent Heart Watch, would come up. Martha? So Parent Heart Watch has donated a life-saving AED device to the city of Chandler that will be placed at the new apparatus training bay at the Public Safety Training Facility. We want to thank you and your organization so much for the donation. Would you like to make some comments?
Thank you, Mayor Harkey and council members. Parent Heart Watch is a national organization, nonprofit organization focused on the prevention of sudden cardiac arrest and death in the young. So that's children, teens, and young adults. Every year we gather, we have an annual conference that is held at different states across the country. And we selected Chandler, the city of Chandler, to hold our conference at the Crown Plaza Hotel. However, because of the pandemic, we had to postpone it until January 2022. Every year, again, it's people who have been personally affected, like my husband and myself who lost our young son. So it's parents who have lost a child, parents whose children survived cardiac arrest, medical professionals, and other passionate advocates. That's where we come together, but we always want to leave our mark in any city that we hold our conference. And for the first time, we've decided to leave our mark in a way that honors really those that have been lost and those who have survived. And a Safe Station Tower is an outdoor cabinet that stores a life-saving device called an automated external defibrillator, or AED, that anybody can use to save a life. And so that's how we're choosing to leave our mark here in the beautiful city of Chandler. And so we hope that it never has to be used, but if it is needed, that it's there to save a life. And so thank you again for the opportunity. And we look forward to having you at our conference in January 2022 to say a few words to our attendees. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please come back. And I think I can safely say, please send all of council an invitation. This council loves to support everything going on in our community.
We would love to have you. Would love to have you.
All right. Long agenda tonight. Did any of you happen to watch the Olympics not too long ago? Anybody here? So we have some special recognitions that we would like to make. And so I'm just going to read all of the names and invite the people to come up and then give each of you the opportunity to make remarks. First, I'd like to invite up Lisa Spinney from Desert Lights Gymnastic Team. Lisa was the Team USA coach for Michaela Skinner, who won the silver medal. Oh, wow. Wow. This is going in my office.
I'll hold on to it for you.
So I had the chance to go visit Lisa in her gym, and she saved my bacon in that our staff had wanted to capture me doing a backflip. And Lisa gracefully said, "Oh, our spotter isn't here. You can't do it." And we let it go that was the reason. Secondly, Andrew Nicholas from the U.S. men's skating team. He was the manager for U.S. skating team in Tokyo. And if you will watch my Mayor of Chandler video today, Andrew skated over me today. So very good. And last but certainly not least, Joe Jackson from Team USA Wheelchair Rugby Paralympics. And I already told Joe this. This is the most insane sport I've ever seen. It's demolition derby meets rugby. And these guys actually get credit and points for knocking people over. It was insane. It was hilarious. I loved it all. So, Joe, would you like to make some comments first?
No, not really. But thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
We're honored.
I just want to say, I've had to move away for my job to California to take on the job I have, but I just spending the day with everyone here has made me so proud of the city of Chandler and made me miss it a lot. But I'm very happy to say that this is where I'm from. So I'm very proud to be from Chandler. So.
My athlete, Michaela Skinner, and myself are so honored not only to represent the USA, but to represent Chandler, Arizona in Tokyo.
Well, let's take a picture. Oh, got to put my hat on. I literally was too excited about being with these three athletes that I did forget to put the hat on. We have one final addition to our scheduled public appearance, and this has to do with SRP HIP transmission line proposal. I'd like to call up Megan H. Grable. Megan, if you'd please state your name and address. You've got 3 minutes.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Megan Grable, and I'm a partner at the law firm of Osborne Maladon. That is at 2929 North Central Avenue, Phoenix 85012. I lead the firm's energy, water, and utility practice group and handle matters primarily before the Arizona Corporation Commission. And transmission line siting is a significant part of my practice. Several weeks ago, I was approached by members of the Reserve at Fulton Ranch Homeowners Association who expressed concerns about the segment of the SRP high-tech interconnection project that would run adjacent and in extremely close proximity to their residential community, a matter of feet from some of their homes. They explained to me that the city had agreed to fund the undergrounding of the vast majority of the SRP HIP line, but that the portion of the line bisecting their community and 2 other neighborhoods, the Pine Lakes Estates and South Shore Village, for reasons that frankly didn't seem to justify the disparate treatment of those 3 communities compared to others, would remain above ground. The reserve retained me and a technical expert with experience in siting transmission lines to represent their interests both here and at the Arizona Corporation Commission. The Pine Lakes Estates and South Shore Village Homeowners Associations have now also engaged me to support them in this matter. Altogether, these HOAs represent more than 1,500 Chandler City residents. I completely understand that the appearance of an attorney may cause some anxiety, particularly on a topic that's been controversial like this one. So I want you to rest assured, my clients asked me to appear before you today primarily to say thank you. We very much appreciate the city's, Salt River Projects, and Intel's early engagement with the communities, and we were delighted by the announcement just a little over a week ago that Intel had agreed to pay to bury the proposed power line from Chandler Heights to the Schrader substation, including the segments near my clients' homes. We are grateful to the city, to Intel, and to SRP for listening to us and for finding a workable solution, and we firmly believe that this is exactly the right result. The line is being built to serve one commercial customer, and of course will generate additional revenue for SRP and benefit Intel and the city economically. In such circumstances, it is right that all city residents be insulated from the negative consequences associated with a visible high voltage transmission line running through the community. The solution you all reached did just that, and so thank you. And particular thank you to Intel for its act of good corporate citizenship. But we also know that work remains to be done before Intel's commitment is realized, and we urge you to do what you can to make that happen. I have with me here and will leave for you an electronic petition to bury the portion of the line along the railroad right-of-way that is signed by 897 people, most of whom reside in these 3 residential communities. These Chandler residents have asked me to continue to work with SRP on the route and to represent them at the upcoming line siting proceeding to ensure that Intel's commitment to that the line is constructed below ground succeeds. Our technical expert has a great deal of experience in developing routes for underground transmission facilities, and we invite SRP to consult with us as they evaluate the underground segment and urge the city to do the same. After all, the line is proposed to be buried in our community. I've appeared before a lot of government and regulatory bodies, and I just want to end by congratulating you guys. This is probably the most efficient and most pleasant meeting I've attended in a while, so thank you for that as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
With whom should I leave these?
City Clerk.
Thank you.
We also had 2 public comments that were emailed in, and those will be entered into the record by the clerk. Council, next on our agenda, we had a number of items that have been called in. I don't know whether on any of these, whether you had resolution to there, so I'm just going to call in the order. And if you've already reached an answer, just let us know. Item number 4 was called in by Council Member Orlando. Has a question about the start of the date of the project and related to this. Council Member.
We're good, Mayor. I think starting late next year, and so this is all part of the Prop $400, which is very important, as you know, that we get our fair share of that. So yes, we got that answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5 called in by Council Member Ellis, having to do with pass-through grants. Council Member.
Thank you, Mayor. City Manager, please.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Ellis, I'd like to have Matt Burdick, our Communications and Public Affairs Director, come forward to answer questions on this item.
Thank you. Yeah, when I looked at what is it that we wanted to accomplish with Dignity Health and through this grant, can you tell me a little bit about why is it that it is important for us to receive this grant at this time in the season that we are still dealing with COVID and those who are struggling to stay alive?
Absolutely. So first off, on the grant process, to answer a question that folks may have about why does it come to the city? So this is part of the Arizona State Gaming Compact that was just amended in April of this year. And so essentially that allocates 12% of the gaming revenues that come into the 22 federally registered tribes towards services that benefit local or county facilities. That extends to nonprofits. So our involvement in this particular effort, this particular item here, is literally a pass-through. So we review the applications that come in from nonprofits that have a connection to Chandler, and then we'll forward those on to the appropriate tribal gaming agency that nonprofit is seeking funds from. That was the case in this example with Dignity Health. And they have, Gila River has reviewed their grant application and elected to fund to the cost of $119,000 a ECMO life support pump. My understanding, reviewing the application with Dignity Health Foundation, which is the nonprofit arm of Dignity Health, is that this will allow treatment to occur at Chandler Regional Hospital. That right now they have to forward those patients to St. Joe's.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
my
with this being
understanding.
a very important for cardiac and respiratory patients that are in need, essentially it literally functions as an artificial lung
Yeah.
for those patients that are in need of that treatment.
Thank you so much. It's my understanding, as you explained, that we don't have one here in Chandler.
That is correct.
And this one will provide it for us.
It will.
So I'm so thankful that the city is part of the process to make this happen. Thank you so much for your presentation.
You bet.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Item number 16, called in by Councilmember Orlando.
Thank you, Mayor. So Mayor, as you know, we had this at the P&Z meeting the other night, and I know the applicant had a really, my understanding, has a robust trees and horticulture type of activity. And then, which is normal for that area, correct? Is that normal what you do during a Paseo? This is along the Paseo, correct, this project?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, that's correct. The applicant is proposing above and beyond the code requirements along the Paseo Trail on the east side of the project. East side of the Paseo Trail, west side of the project.
And I understand these buildings are real close to the Paseo, so therefore, to help, the trees would help mitigate, obviously, the imposing activities of these buildings, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So I know, I didn't get a chance to talk to any of the commissioners, and I will the next day or two, but I was wondering what the thought process was to actually reduce the amount of foliage, which normally, again, we want to, at the Paseo Trail, keep it shaded for the bikers and walkers, and the mayor, I know he goes out there a lot. I drew you into that one, Mayor, sorry about that, but I know you do, I know you do. So I'm just curious, what was the thought process behind reducing it? Was it something, a new policy or procedure, a thought process, or what?
Yeah, Mayor, Councilmember Orlando, the Planning and Zoning Commission first considered a proposal to increase the amount of trees on the property and then discuss the possibility of reducing the amount of trees. And in the end, the commission decided and voted to adopt a stipulation, which is a stipulation number 9, which is in question, to reduce the number of trees, reduce the density of trees on the property.
Okay. So again, in all fairness, I'll reach out to some of those members and get their thought process on it. But in the meantime, if I'd like staff to come back with a amendment to this to reduce item 9, and we could always vote on it, either one at the council meeting. But I do want to get more detail before I, take the step of eliminating number 9. I think that's an equitable thing to do. So.
Will do.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Orlando, I was going to suggest the same thing,
Okay.
is that we just remove that, but certainly further conversation can be had on Thursday. And I also, when I met with Adam Baugh to start with, I had asked for significant coverage, particularly along one of our best recreational amenities in Chandler. So I would certainly support that.
Okay.
Your action on that. So.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilmember Rowe.
Thank you, Mayor. We get a lot of items up here on the dais, and I will say about this project, I was particularly impressed with how our development folks and this developer and worked so closely together and came up with a very nice architectural product that Chandler can be proud of. And so many communities would not worry about what's on the west side or the back side of the property, and I'm very pleased that you'll be able to drive or walk all around that facility from north to south, east to west, and be proud of it. And I hope we continue to have great projects like this come to Chandler. Thank you.
Through the mayor, Councilmember Rowe, staff worked very hard with the applicant to create the project. So thank you for those comments.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Councilmember Rowe, do I see a tear? You'd have both really teared up on that one. Any additional questions or comments on this one?
I love the trees.
We have two tree lovers. Okay. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
I really love serving the city with you guys. You guys are fun. Item number 22, also called in by Councilmember Orlando.
Mayor, this has been a long, as you know, Mayor and Council here, it's been a long time program. I know they had a little dip last year because of COVID, obviously, but I would ask staff to give us a few minute briefing on what these folks are doing and how they're meeting their objectives. And what's the other question I have for you, and you don't have to answer that tonight, obviously, but what's the next step here? What do we want to do next to take this to another level? So anyway, I'll let you take the briefing.
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando. So as you know, we are in our first year of our second option contract year with NACET, NACET at Moonshot. What they do is they provide technology-oriented entrepreneurial support services through the Innovations Incubator on behalf of the city. This past year, in the first year contract, we really wanted to increase the level of visibility that they were providing to the community, to the tech entrepreneurs. And so that was reflected in some of the performance measures we had put in place. We wanted to increase attendance, visibility, impressions in the media. And I think we've accomplished a lot of that. But I think to really get to the heart of your question is where do we want to take it? I think mayor, council, and all staff really want to see Innovations Incubator be recognized as the technology incubator of choice in the Southwest. Now, I know we have a long way to go. We are in year 6 of this endeavor. We have a lot of things that need to take place to get there. And so that's the ultimate vision. As we've received it from council and I think from staff's perspective, we really want this to be a technology-oriented incubator, delivering the best services to our community. And that's what this is. This is a city-sponsored service, much like we provide other services, but really geared to the tech entrepreneurs. Going back to your comment about COVID, we were surprised. We thought we would see a lot of more applicants this year due to job layoffs and such, but we didn't see that. So I think that's some of the things that we're trying to understand better within our tech ecosystems. What exactly is going on, and what are we missing in getting in front of those folks to scale those companies?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know the vice mayor is involved with this a lot too, and I know he's down there a lot as well. And I appreciate all the work he's put on that one and some of the other council members. But again, let's sit down and, I know you've got some venture capital dollars in there, and I know that's something we've been kicking around for a couple of years now. How do we up that game? How do we get the word out to venture capitalists to actually come in and start, funding some of these projects? I think you say we're 3 million this year. I can't remember the exact numbers, which is still up from last year, which is great. But I think that's the key right now is how do we take those entrepreneurs to the next phase, the next step. If we could work on that as well, come back with us with some thoughts on that. I certainly appreciate it.
Through the mayor, council, we're absolutely happy to do so.
Mayor.
Councilmember Ellis.
Micah, it is my understanding that we saw a pullback during COVID. One of the reasons is because we didn't have a facility. We didn't have a place really truly where we could incubate and bring people and their ideas and then for them to come to those places. Because at this time, 6 years into this program, and we still don't have a home for it per se. So I would love to see this be part of the next phase of this program, is to start looking how we're going to anchor it in a place where people can feel that this is where the incubator is supposed to be, versus just dependent on whoever we partner with, whether when they want to close, they close, when they want to open, they open. So that left us in a place where we couldn't continue doing the thing. Our city never shut down. But when other places shut down, it affects us in a sense like this. So I would love if you could, with your team, start looking into putting together a plan as we go into the next phase with this program and elevated it to the next level, that having a home for this program will be part of the discussion. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah. And Micah, conversely, I've appreciated the work you've done, that when we did have a home that just wasn't accomplishing our purposes, to have a chance to relook at this, and rather than us trying to run this, bring in NACET and some experts to do a better job. And to Diane, I was really impressed on Friday night at the banquet, particularly the three startups that really had talked about how going through this four-part program had helped launch their ideas into businesses. And I think one was recently acquired by a larger company and was also going to continue to stay here with more capital from that. So I really enjoyed listening to the success stories from that night as well as previous years. So there might certainly be opportunity for us to relook at this model, but apart from the shutdown, I do think it's having an outside force manage this has served us well rather than trying to maintain and manage our own facility. But perhaps we'll have to do a work session on this and come up with some ideas and listen to council goals. So, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Well, Micah and Diana, thank you so much for what you've shared and what you're doing so far. It is just, I think, the tip of the iceberg of what the Innovations Incubator can become. And it's something that we've been putting some effort behind. And it's really exciting to hear the rest of council take notice and make some comments about it, because I think we're on the precipice of delivering that triangle that we've been talking about for a long time, which is that angel group, the angel investors, coupled with a little bit of support from the community, as well as getting the entrepreneurial engineers that are in our community already with the Intels and the Microchips and the Rogers corporations. When those folks are ready to go out on their own, we want to be able to give them the tools that innovations provide. So it's exciting to hear this. We'll continue to do this. And maybe it's where we bring in some folks that are in these spaces, create a little subcommittee, if I can get the mayors, put them on the spot right now. But I'll approach you and I'll approach the mayor with this, and we'll see if we can get something going on that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mayor.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes, Michael. Good job. I mean, this is great. We want to continue to make sure, because we're a city of innovation, so we have to continue to be a city where entrepreneurs who are seeking innovation can come and we can be some type of beacon of hope. But as I shared in other meetings, I still want to press upon us to look at other entrepreneurs and making sure that we're setting our eyes on other entrepreneurs, so it's more equitable for entrepreneurs in Chandler, not just people who are in technology and looking to stir that path, but also we need to look at other entrepreneurs who are doing other different things that may not be technology focused, but have aspects of technology. Because at this point, if your business doesn't live with technology, it's not existing at this point via website or however. But I want us to also to continue to press on programs that can widen our reach and our scope on programs that will not just focus on innovation, but other types of entrepreneurs. And we have a lot of different other types of entrepreneurs in the city. And I know Josh and we've already had conversations about that, but I want to continue to make sure that that's publicly known, that we need to continue to make sure that there's a lot of equity, especially with these type of dollars going out for everybody in the community, not just technology people. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 23 was called in by Vice Mayor and Councilmember Orlando. Vice Mayor.
Mayor, thank you. I had a good conversation with staff last week about this, so I'm good.
All right. Councilmember Orlando.
Yeah. Wow. No, you're not getting off that easy, buddy. Get up there. Oh, no.
Yes, sir.
I'm just teasing you. You know that. Hey, I know this is, we refresh the vehicles every so many years, but are we looking at electric vehicles?
The Mayor, Councilman Orlando, yes, we are. We're obviously we have infrastructure we need to put in place first, so we're looking at where we need to put those charging stations.
Right.
We preliminarily identified about 31 locations to evaluate, but we are definitely looking at where applicable EV vehicles would be useful.
Excellent. And I know this other question came up the other day. It's frustrating to me that, and I've been for a long time now, and I know Dawn's heard this a few times from me over the years. We just can't seem to get our local Chandler vendors to bid on some of these things when we keep those sales tax dollars in Chandler. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a procurement, but I was hoping staff, and I know Dawn, you may want to weigh in here. I apologize. I know we've tried in the past. Is there anything else we could possibly do to, do I have to call them? Is that what you want me to do? I'll do it.
I'll go with you.
All right, fair enough. We got
Through the Mayor, Councilmember Orlando, you are spot on. It is important that we try to engage our local vendors. That is an effort that's done every time we do a vehicle purchase. We have contacts at all of the local dealerships. They get contacted to let them know, here's what we're looking for in this purchase. Unfortunate thing is, especially as of recent, the chip shortage has
Yeah.
really limited inventories, especially for our local vendors. But the state contract does seem to make the most sense at this point. But they typically turn us down. It's just kind of the nature, I think, of the types of specialty vehicles that we purchase, that they don't have that sort of inventory.
And I think the word city manager used the other day was some of them don't have a fleet mentality where they actually carry excess inventory to be able to satisfy some of these contracts. But that's a fair analysis, I think, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. All right, Mayor, I'll start making phone calls. That's all I could do. Okay, Mayor?
And I'd say, as long as we are reaching out to our local vendors, that's the best that we can do.
I
You know,
agree.
If their business model doesn't afford this, then we've given them ample opportunity to take advantage of some special discount. Vice Mayor, do you have a comment?
Did you have a presentation that you really wanted to give?
You know, I did. That's okay. I'm good.
Well, you can.
I think we're good. I can email it to you.
Thanks,
How's
sir.
that?
All right.
Go meet with Vice Mayor. He'll be more than glad to have that presentation.
Thank you. Our next item is called in item number 39 by Councilmember Lopez.
Yes, I had a question around whether or not the arterial map was also going to be involved in the scope of this new contract, and I got the answer of yes, so I am happy.
All right. And last but not least, item number 47, Councilmember Orlando.
Yeah, Mayor, thank you. I had a nice conversation with staff today. This is a really neat project, and I think we should spend just a few minutes so the public knows what we're doing here, how we're saving money, and how we're partnership with SRP. Just another partnership with SRP that we're working with, and we certainly appreciate it. So if you could just spend a few minutes on what we're doing here, and then I got a quick question for you.
Through the mayor. Thank you, Councilmember Orlando. This particular contract, item 47, is a continuing project that goes along with a program that we've had with Salt River Project for about 30 years. Over those years, we have partnered with Salt River Project for, I believe, 9 current wells, water wells that produce potable water in the city of Chandler. The true benefit is as Salt River Project loses agricultural land within the city of Chandler, they have the wells that still exist. And so they've developed a program that Chandler takes advantage of repeatedly, where we partner with SRP. SRP allows us to use the well. We benefit because we get all of the water from the well on a priority basis. And the total cost for us, the city of Chandler, is only the difference in what it would cost SRP to go from a typical agricultural well to a potable well. And what that means is during the drilling process, we pay for water quality sampling, which they wouldn't do in an agricultural well, but we do in one of ours. And so we pay for the additional testing and the maybe some different materials of construction. And during the equipping process, we also then upfit an ag well to a city standard that would be used for potable. So just as an idea, a new well that we install for the city of Chandler that we do all ourselves runs the city between the land cost, design, drilling, equipping, around $3 million. When we partner with SRP, which we've done, and we'll continue to do, I hope, the total cost out of pocket for the city of Chandler is somewhere between $500,000 and maybe $750,000. So there's a tremendous savings in that partnership. And beyond that, SRP pays for and does all of the maintenance on the well. And they also give us a discount on the electricity for the well. So it's not only a benefit in the first cost, but it's an ongoing savings throughout the entire life of the well. So this is simply an equipping contract for a well that was re-drilled in the center part of town, Knox Well, which is just east of Alma School Road. And this well will become the backup well for one of our other chip suppliers in town, High-Tech NXP. So this will become the backup well for their production. And it's a tremendous program that we've been doing with SRP, and it's just another one of those partnerships that doesn't get talked about too much. But that's what it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And you answered my question about the priorities. I really appreciate it. But the other thing, it's a bigger picture here. We had a lot of, Mayor, we had a lot of folks that I represented. We do a lot of good things in local government, and we do, provide value to our residents. We heard about water tonight. We had about, getting resources and other activities we go throughout this process. So, I just tell the folks out there, local government does work, and we do try to save money as much as possible, and and we do the best we could with the resources we have. So kudos to you and the staff for keeping these projects like this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, John. Council, those are all the items that were called in. To those who stayed, thank you for joining us either online or live. And with that, that concludes our meeting tonight.